Hey everyone, Richard here with Gorilla Gym. For this video, I'm going to go over push-up progression. With the beginning of this, the big thing you're going to see me focusing on is mobility. You want to address that and make sure that your body, muscles, joints, everything feels good getting into the positions required. So what I'm going to go over is a little bit of wrist stretches here first. Nothing too excessive, just moving my wrists around, making sure they're staying nice and loose. I have the dumbbells there on the floor. That's just to show a different grip that might help if you're having some issues with wrist mobility. As I get onto the box, I'm double checking, making sure my shoulders feel good. The big position you want to focus on when you're doing push-ups, and you're going to start seeing where the wrist mobility comes into play, is first off, you want to make sure that your elbows are not flared out. Okay, when you're doing a push-up, there's one rep right there. I think I do 1 or 2 reps. You don't want to do push-ups this way. You don't want your elbows flared out. Okay, you want that quarter turn with your elbows so that when you're coming down to position, your arms are basically coming right along your side and you're noticing a relatively vertical forearm there. Okay, you want to stay really tight. That's just much better for shoulders, and it just recruits the triceps a lot better. You don't want to exaggerate your plank position by keeping your butt up high, and you also don't want to let it sink. So just keep a really neutral, nice solid plank position, straight as a board. Okay, bringing in the dumbbells, this shows where you have those push-up stands. You can use dumbbells as well. If you're having wrist issues, you can get that neutral grip. It's sometimes a little easier on the wrists, but you always want to still try and be able to get into that wrist position. Okay, changing angles, you can see that my shoulder is well stacked over my wrist. Okay, that's what you're looking for. That's what you want. You want to stay in that good position, because what that does is when you come down to the position, the bottom, without sinking, without being excessive, and keeping that short, nice, tight plank, you're going to notice that I'm in a really solid position with my thumb, basically, if I was to extend my thumbs, touching my chest, and my forearm is relatively vertical. Okay, I don't want to be extended one way or the other. All right, that translates, that solid push-up progression and that position, in those positions, translates well when you get to the wall, which is the first progression. A wall push-up is going to be your baseline movement that you want to work from until you can get to that good position. Again, making sure that your hands are lining up with your chest. Here, my hands are way too high. Here, I can't even really do anything on the wall with my hands too low. From the wall, to progress further, you can then go into using a rack or something like that, which is really good because you can change your levels but just by moving the bar down further down on the rack. So here I'm doing a couple of push-ups. Again, solid plank. I'm not letting my hips flare out or come back. I'm not letting my midsection sink, and I do a couple of push-ups there, and then I can lower the J-cups on my squat rack here, put the bar back on, and now it's lower, and I can continually, over sessions and weeks, get lower and lower, where ultimately you're trying to get down to that baseline push-up on the floor. The next step from here is you can get down onto a table, a counter, maybe a chair, something like that. Here I'm just using it off the box. But again, you'll notice the standards are the same. My elbows are cranked in nice and tight. My elbows are flaring, or not flaring. They're staying right along my sides, which you'll see will translate well when we get into the bench press videos as well. And there it is off the box. Coming onto the knees, the exact same standards. I'm not letting myself sink excessively. I'm keeping that nice solid plank. Shoulder is stacked over the wrist. And then here we go into a couple of knee push-ups. Solid once again. Obviously, we now go into the full push-up where you're staying super solid there. And then from there, there's not a whole lot of progression and instruction, because you should be comfortable when you're getting to this level, where now you're changing your leverage point of getting your feet above your shoulders. So now here you see my feet are on the box, and then that translates into getting up onto a wall, handstand push-ups, things like that. All right, guys? Thanks for watching. Push-up progressions, Gorilla Gym. Take care.